All right, all right. It's that time again. We're doing a college football best bet rapid fire with your man, Jesse Schul. Welcome to Picks and Parlays. I'm your host, Allie Burns. You can find me over at Plus Money Honey, and you can find Picks and Parlays at Picks Parlays. Jesse Schul coming off a 4-1 college football rapid fire last week. How's it feel to be back on the show, friend?
Well, it's good to have a successful start to the rapid fire, particularly with that Bama game, because I know everybody and their dog was on Vandy last week, and they let me hear about it. But I got last laugh, didn't I?
I was on Vandy last week, so there's that. So there's no, I wasn't. I was thinking of taking Vandy, and I remember you saying Alabama has had this one circled on their schedule because Vandy beat them last year, and there's no way Alabama's going to let this one sneak by. That's what I did.
In addition to that, I said if you like Vandy, take him for the first half. The game was tied at halftime.
Boom. There you go. Okay. See, I do listen when you speak, Jesse. I do. And all of you viewers out there should as well. All right. 4-1 last week. Let's see what you can do this week. Before we get rolling, everyone smash on that like button. Give us the old thumbs up. Let us know if you like the content that we're producing by popping something into the comments box below. Let us know who you like and how much money you made off of Jesse Schul's picks last week. All right. We're going to start this one off with the aforementioned Alabama. They're number 8 in the country, and they're at number 14, Missouri. Bama's 4-1 on the season. Missouri is 5-0. We've got Alabama as a small favorite here, -2.5. The total is a 49.5. But Jesse, you're going to do a little something different on this game, aren't you? Tell us what you like.
I am, and right away this line just jumps out at you. Missouri just getting 2.5 points at home against Alabama. I mean, I think most people would expect Alabama to be a much bigger favorite in this spot, but it's tough going on the road, beating Georgia, coming back home with that revenge game against Vandy. This is a very tough spot for Alabama, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Missouri put up a fight here at home. I can't bring myself to bet Missouri against what I consider to be a far better team. But I'm not going to be on Bama in this one either. Let's see. Missouri leads the SEC in rushing, 292 rush yards per game. They have played a bit of a soft schedule, but they did beat Kansas and they did beat South Carolina. They do give up points when they play good teams, though. And Alabama with Ty Simpson at quarterback, I expect one way or the other, win or lose, they will get their points. So I'm going to look at Alabama's team total over 27.5.
Over 27.5 for the Alabama team total. All right, let's move right along to the next one. We're looking at number 6 Oklahoma taking on the Texas Longhorns. This is the Red River rivalry, y'all, and it's going to go down for real. I love this game every year. Oklahoma's undefeated this year. They're 5-0. Texas Longhorns, a lot of hype around that team, but they're 3-2. In this one, we have Texas as a home. It's not really a home favorite because they're not playing in Austin. It's like right in the middle. It's a border game. Texas -1.5. The total here is 42.5. They're not playing in Austin, are they? I'm correct in that, aren't I?
They're not. They never play in Austin. No.
Right, exactly. They play. It's like halfway between Oklahoma and Texas, and then both teams get equal number of tickets to come to the game, and it's a shootout, and it's awesome. And I always take the dog because that's just how I always play this game. How are you going to play this game?
You said it. I was going to give you I was going to say that interesting choice of words calling it the Red River rivalry, because it, of course, used to be the Red River shootout. You're not allowed to say that anymore. But I'm going to tell you right now, with the total of 42.5, we're not expecting a shootout. We could call it the Red River rock fight this year. And that's the angle.
That. Copyright
that's the angle
that
that I'm going to take. Red River rock fight. Yeah. So John Mateer, the quarterback for the Sooners, broke something in his hand. He's been out for a couple weeks. The Sooners are kind of pretending that he might play, but we've seen this a couple years ago with Dylan Gabriel. They actually dressed him and had him come out on the field and warm up for the game. He was never going to play when he was hurt. So I think it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors by Brent Venables here. I don't expect Mateer to play. And even if he does, coming off of hand surgery, I don't expect him to be very effective against this very good Texas defense. But the Sooners have the best defense in the SEC so far this season. And you've got two quarterbacks that, first of all, a backup quarterback for Oklahoma who has not been impressive. And then you've got Arch Manning, who's been maybe the biggest flop of my lifetime at quarterback. He's been bad.
Woo, that hurts. Woo.
So I'm expecting both these teams to be very conservative, slow the game down. I expect first one to score 20 points wins. And in a game like that, I like to bet first half under 21.5 is the play for me.
First half under.
In the Red River Rock fight.
In the Red River Rock fight. I love that. I kind of love that. Okay, up next, we're talking number 7, Indiana is taking on the number 3, Oregon Ducks. Both of these teams are 5-0. We've got Oregon as the favorite here, minus a touchdown and a hook, 7.5. The total on this one's a 55.5. What do we got going on here?
This looks like it should be a great game. Kurt Signetti always complains that his team doesn't get enough respect. They go out and beat Illinois by a 50 burger, and then people just say, well, Illinois sucks. And last year they beat Nebraska, but in a blowout, and they said, oh, Nebraska sucks. Well, if they beat Oregon in Oregon, there's going to be no excuses. I can't bet against Oregon myself, and I can't bet against Indiana either. I can't lay the points. I can't take the points. So we got to look at the total. At the end of the day, we've got perhaps the 2 best quarterbacks in the country, 2 coaches that are very good at scheming up game plans. And the total just doesn't look high enough to me. I got to go with the over in this game. I think it's going to be a show me game for both these teams, and there's going to be a lot of excitement.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I went to college in Oregon. I'm a big Oregon Ducks fan. Marcus Mariota was like the guy that got me into college football. So I'm going Ducks all the way.
Quick question for you, Allie. Did you see the Dan Lanning interview after they beat Penn State?
I did not. I was at work during that game, but I had a good
after
one.
The show, you got to check that out.
I had Oregon +3, and then in game I took Penn State +6.5, and I took the over 37.5 in the first half. So like I middled it and I hit the over. I 3-wayed it. I had a 3-way with that game, and I crushed it. But no, I didn't see the interview because I was at work. So
look it up after the show. You have to see it.
I definitely will. Okay, so we're moving on to Pitt at number 25, Florida State. Both of these teams are 3-2. We've got FSU as the favorite here, minus 10.5. The total's 58.5. What are you looking at in this one?
So we all know that FSU beat Alabama in week 1, and I think they're still living off that reputation. When they finally played a tough opponent on the road at Virginia, I bet against them, and I was asked, are we going to take the points? I said, hell no. Virginia's going to win outright. And I got some serious warning signs about this Florida State team. They played a couple cupcakes, and they padded their stats against those cupcakes. But when you look at the stats for Castellanos, the quarterback, in his games against FBS teams, 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. The passing game just isn't there. The only game that they were able to pass the ball was against FCS opponent, and they're having some success running the ball, but their opponent this week, the Pitt Panthers, the best run defense in the ACC by a country mile. They're only allowing 66 yards per game. I think they're allowing less than 2 yards per carry. I mean, they're just shutting teams down in the running game. So that is bad news for Florida State. But additionally, Pitt, they have had an up and down season. They haven't been that great. Part of that was their quarterback, Eli Holstein, had the lowest efficiency rating of any quarterback in the Power 4. Well, they started a freshman last week, Mason Heinschel. The guy throws for 323 yards, 4 touchdowns on 30 of 41 passing against Boston College. Granted, it's a 1-game sample size. Granted, it's Boston College. Still, the guy he was replacing set the floor so low that this is going to make a big difference for Pitt, in my opinion. So I will take the double digits on the road at Florida State.
Oh, I like that. I like that play a lot, as a matter of fact. I was looking at that. I hadn't really made a decision on that, but now that I've heard your analysis, I think you're right. And Pitt plus 10.5 points is the way that we go. I was looking at a total on it, but I got all icky and I just walked away. Okay, so last one. I know everyone's excited about this matchup. We've got number 1 in the nation, Ohio State Buckeyes are taking on number 17, the Illinois Fighting Illini. Aren't they a Fighting Illini? The Illini.
They are.
They fight. Yeah, they fight. Okay, so we've got Ohio State minus 14.5 points. The total on this one's 49.5. What is your final best bet for this round?
Yeah, interesting game because the Illini, the Fighting Illini, they came into the season ranked in the top 12, I believe, maybe 11th overall. I mean, a lot of people were maybe they didn't come into the season, but early on in week 1 or 2, they were ranked very highly. And they were living up to expectations until they ran into Indiana. And Indiana beat them by a 50-burger. But then they rally the next game and they beat USC. So what can we expect from this team? It's difficult to say. But one thing I will say is their quarterback, Luke Altmaier, he is leading the Big Ten in passing, or second. So he's second in the Big Ten in passing. 1,573 yards, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. You know how many starting quarterbacks in the Big Ten have no interceptions? Just one. Him.
Oh, I meant zero other ones. The
guy's almost as old as me, Luke Altmaier. He's been around for a while. So him and Julian Sayin, they're both averaging over 10 yards per pass attempt, both among the leaders in the Big Ten in passing. I'm expecting to see this one get a little bit pointsy, and I think Illinois can put some points on the board, despite the fact that Ohio State has a great defense. But maybe later on they bring in their backups. Maybe we get a late touchdown to get that cover or get that over. But what I really like is Illinois team total over 16.5. I think at home with one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten, they'll get at least to 17 points.
All right, I'm liking that. I hadn't even considered that one, so I like that. Okay, so we're going to do a little recap, but first, Jesse, tell the people what they can find when you guys go over to picksandparlays.net and you select Jesse Schull as your expert handicapper to buy his premium plays off of. Jesse, what can they expect to find when they buy your packages?
Well, the two highlights right now, Major League Baseball playoffs. I think I'm hitting well over 70% in the playoffs so far. Nice. A perfect 5-0 with MLB player props in the playoffs. I got a prop on the board tonight in one of the big games. And NFL, I had my worst week ever but my worst week of the season last week. I was 5-3. I still won pretty handsomely. And we're hitting 77% for the season. And my Monday Night Football game of the year is already posted at Picks and Parlays. So you can grab that right now.
Go get it right now. After you hit the like button, and then hang out for like 2 more minutes. So I'll give you a recap and then go to picksandparlays.net and go get that premium pick. Okay. So the recap is Alabama takes on Missouri. Jesse's going to take the Alabama team total over 27.5 points. At the Red River Rock Fight, we got Oklahoma and Texas. Jesse's going to go with the first half under 21.5 points. First half of that game under 21.5 points. Indiana is taking on Oregon. In this game, we are looking at an over 55.5 points. When Pitt plays Florida State, we're taking the dog, baby. We're taking the Panthers in that one, plus 10.5 points. And finally, Ohio State at Illinois. We're going to go Illinois team total over 16.5 points. If you guys have enjoyed this content, you like what you see, give us that thumbs up. Drop your favorite plays in the comment box below. Don't forget to subscribe to the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. Follow us over on X at Picks and Parlays. If you're looking for more of me, you can find me at Plus Money Honey. Until then, you guys have a great weekend. Let's make some money, y'all.